you know, you've got to be really good at figuring out where to go to get the help that you need. You have to really become intelligent and aware of the ideas of um, who has the information that I want, who has the knowledge that I need. Um, Listen, I want you guys to think about me as your friend. Like, I want you to think about me as somebody who cares about you and is here for you. But I don't want you to think about me as the guy who is gonna help me and solve my problems. Right? That's not me. I'm not gonna help you. I will try to help you as best as I can as a friend to like improve your life. I'm a huge fan of like self improvement, personal development, working on yourself, becoming aware of your becoming aware of the things that are really holding you back. And a lot of times what I found in my own life is that the thing that's holding me back is me, is my belief system, the mindset that I'm in. And once I can tweak my mindset, once I can figure out how my thoughts, my thinking patterns, how my habits, how I can once I recognize exactly how those are affecting me, controlling my life, and kind of learning how to change my mind, that's really when uh, you really recognize that there is a tremendous amount of potential for where your life can go and who you can become, what you can do, how you can help change other people's lives, how you can affect the larger scale of society or your local community or whatever. So I mean, once you like can identify your strengths, once you can identify your weaknesses, um, and really when it comes to identifying your weaknesses, it's really identifying what are the things that are really in your way. Like, hey, I don't know how to play the guitar. I don't know how to play instruments. I'm not a good singer. Maybe you could call it a weakness, but it really is irrelevant. Like, that's not going to help me in my life if I learn how to play guitar. But things like, you know, I have I have social anxiety where I'm afraid to step out of my own house because I'm like afraid that people are watching me and looking at me and judging me, and I'm afraid to like like I really don't have the best social skills and personal communication skills. So when somebody asks me, hey Kenny, how you doing, I say fine, and they try to have a conversation with me and I can't have a good conversation with them. I can't reciprocate the kind of thing that they want back from me, and the conversation goes nowhere because I suck at talking to people. I mean, like, that's a weakness that is going to prevent me from really thriving in my life and improving myself. So identifying those weaknesses that you might have, like the things that are really going to hold you back. I mean, this is where it's important to focus on these things. And I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, because when you're told, hey, take a real look at yourself and ask yourself, what are the problems that I have? What are the major problems that I have? When you actually have to do that, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, because a lot of times what people do in life is they don't want to face the fact that they suck at a lot of things. A lot of people don't want to face the fact that they're not the best at something. They want to hide it. They want to run from it. They want to pretend like it's not real. Like some people who have major addictions to things, whether it's drugs, alcohol, video games, sex, or anything. Like, it could be anything. Addicted to I don't know, something else. I mean, whatever it might be, they might want to pretend like they don't actually have an addiction. But once they actually take an honest look at themselves and say, this is controlling my life, this is preventing me from being happy, it's preventing me from being my best self. Um, once you do that and say, man, you know, I have this problem. It's controlling my life. It's not the easiest thing to do. You might look at yourself and feel guilty. You're going to look at yourself and regret, maybe some decisions that you made. You're going to take a look at yourself and it's going to be hard. And that's why people don't honestly talk about their problems, because they don't want them to be true, right? People don't want to be real because they want to run from their problems. They want to pretend like it's not real. They're afraid of their own judgment, and they don't want to feel guilty. They don't want to feel ashamed of themselves. They don't want to feel like pathetic. And so if if you are struggling right now because you are dealing with some of these things, because you look at yourself and you care a lot about the quality of your life, and maybe you recognize that you're not close to being where you want. You have this idea for what your life would be like if it was better, if it was perfect, if it was amazing, right? You have this idea of what your life would be like if it's amazing, and you recognize that it's not there. And you might be depressed, or you might not be happy. You might hate your life. You might hate yourself at the moment because it's not everything you want it to be, and you feel guilty or ashamed, and you feel left out, you feel alone, you feel all this stuff. Listen, if you're able to at least understand yourself at a degree, even though it might be hard for you to do, but if you're able to at least see what your life is like right now, you're halfway there already. You're doing better than most people who don't want to fucking at least admit that stuff. Which is why I made that video recently about saying, which is why I made that video really recently saying, admitting that I'm depressed. Why? Because once I can admit that I'm depressed, I can then look at things that I can do in my life to improve myself and to learn some strategies to cope with that depression, and possibly overcome it, or possibly just learn how to live with it and do the best I can. But if you don't admit that you have these problems, they're going to prevent you from living the life that you want to have. Excuse me. But one of the problems that a lot of people have is, they don't want to face the reality of their life, and they can't do it. So if you're feeling maybe guilty or ashamed, or you feel pathetic, or you feel like your life can be better, and you know it, but you're just not able to do everything right now, you're halfway there. What most people need is the ability to forgive yourself for not being perfect. Like, it's okay. Like, that's at the end of the day, that's really what most people want to hear. Most people want to hear, like, hey, listen, dude, buddy, guy, girl, whatever. It's okay that you're a little fucked up, right? It's okay that you're not perfect. It's okay that you have all these problems. You can have a messy life, right? Most people want other people to accept them for their negative qualities. For me, one of the problems that I struggle with is I worry that other people are not going to be. I worry that most people are going to hold me up to a high standard, and they're not going to put up with me, being emotional. They're not going to put up with me being quiet in public and not talking very much. They're not going to put up with me. I worry that when I say that, what I mean is I worry that others are not going to be okay with and accept the fact that I'm not perfect. So within myself, what exists is a need to be perfect, a need for myself to have everything that I want to be about myself to be real. And when I recognize that maybe I'm not the best at things, when I realize that maybe, I might want to be really popular here on YouTube, but I'm not the most popular, instead of being like, man, I have to be popular, I have to have like 10,000 subscribers here. Instead of that, I can look at myself and say, you know what? No, it's fine. Like, I don't have to be that. So what a lot of people want is other people to accept them for all of their strengths and their weaknesses. So one of the things that you have to do to feel good about yourself is to just accept yourself for what you are, right? You might not be the smartest person, the nicest person, the funniest person, the coolest person. You might not be that. That's okay. You have to be able to forgive yourself and accept that, right? That's the first step in all of this, right? Or maybe the second step, whatever. First step is to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Second step is to accept yourself. for the way you are, no matter what, being okay with it. What's the third step? I'm kind of making this stuff up as I go along. I really enjoyed just saying all that stuff right there. I was kind of going off hard on what I really feel about this, right? So, sometimes you're like, hey, Kenny, tell us how you really feel. Yeah, I just told you how I really feel. Those are just my opinions, and that's just my idea. That's just what I see. That's what I feel intuitively. Do I have anything to kind of back up what I'm saying? Not really. It's just kind of ideas, just kind of based off of observations and assumptions and stuff. But I would say it's true for the most part. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's life is different, But for people like me, see, I can only talk about the way that I would like my life to go. I can only talk about, like, honestly, like, what I know about my life, what I know about myself, what I struggle with. And kind of sometimes I can compare that to other people's lives and say, okay, well, you kind of are similar to me. I can draw parallels between the things that I experience in my life and things that other people, like, for example, I don't really have an addiction to anything. I mean, maybe certain things, like, that, like, maybe I watch too much YouTube, too much, maybe I spend too much time on my computer. But as far as, like, a real addiction that's serious and interferes with my life, like, I don't have, like, an addiction to any kind of drug or alcohol or anything. But I can kind of draw parallels with people who have addictions in their life, because it's very similar to some of the other stuff that people who don't have those addictions go through. I mean, it's a different thing. I mean, it's a totally different topic. There's different ways to overcome an addiction there are to overcome other things that people might struggle with. But the idea that, there's something in your life that's holding you back and preventing you from being the best person that you can be, that's kind of where I draw the parallel between those two things, or between that and anything else. So yeah. I appreciate that everybody is here watching this. I am gonna have to end the stream soon, like now, because my girlfriend's gonna be here in a minute. And yeah, I went off on a really good kind of rant right there. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. That's really where it's really where a lot of my passion for this comes from, and where my ideas come from. So I love being able to just get all that out, like, on this live stream. I love being able to just get all that stuff out and share it with you, because it helps me work through my own thoughts and opinions and